Stephen, now you are the guru of future things and what comes and hails in library land. What have you been talking about recently?
Well, a bunch of us are going to do a session of that on Saturday for 2 hours, talking about what's new and innovative. And I've just come back from Computers and Libraries Conference in DC, where we spent the whole week doing some of the real interesting, fun new stuff. So we've been doing geographic positioning systems for libraries and be able to tell where people are, where you can find a book in the card catalog and have your phone tell you how to walk to the building or the shelf, exact shelf where you can go. We had everybody there using Gowalla and Foursquare, where we were checking in and back and forth to try and understand geographic positioning systems in libraries, because if you're in a public library, you have branches. You have branches because geography is important. Now that we're creating geosocial things on our phones, how do we take social institutions and do the geography thing? So I'm having some fun with some of the more leading edge stuff, and then we're going to do some other fun things that are quite different around knowledge portals and changing people's emotional response to libraries.
Excellent. Well, and it's so interesting because both of you are so committed to serving the public in different ways and the same ways. Dale, you work a great deal with different communities, and I know you've been talking at this conference about serving diverse communities.
Right.
What are you all up to?
Well, in Queens, we serve people from about 120, 170 different languages and therefore cultures. Actually more cultures than that, because of course the same culture can speak, no, the same language can have more than one culture. So what we're trying to do in Queens is still the traditional library thing of connecting books with readers, but also providing programs, classes, services that actually meet people's information and recreation needs all the time. I've been thinking, I guess really from the Public Library Association conference and Natalie Merchant's session there, about the randomness of libraries and people finding things they didn't know they were looking for, and how we can facilitate that. And maybe it's older books, or maybe it's some poetry no one thought about, but maybe it's also something new, or maybe it's another culture that someone didn't know about. So one way we do that in Queens is to have constantly something going on every day. So when you come in you don't have to look at your calendar to see if something's happening at the library. You can just go. You know something's happening at the library. Some thoughts I have.
Great stuff. Well, Stephen, describe to me your ideal day at the library.
My ideal day
Your
at the
ideal
library?
day at the library, and that's coming for you next, so you get some time to think about it.
My ideal day at the library is when I'm at home. The vast majority of library use does not happen inside the buildings anymore. The kind of people who use libraries are the most do not display the behaviors that we see visibly when we're in our library. So the real challenge for libraries right now is my kind of user, where I'm using library resources in my pajamas, in my chair, comfortable in my living room doing research. Or I'm using a program, and the program's coming out with we have Ask Ontario, where I can talk to librarians and just get somebody to help me, and I don't need to get out of my chair and go down. And I live in a city with the most diverse, highest circulation, busiest library system in the world, more branches than anywhere else. So it's, we're very similar to Queens, what Dale was talking about here, very complicated. And so someone like me is just one of the complicated people they work with. And I find it fascinating that they're able to serve my needs. And I also look at it and say, gee, I wonder if chat roulette is going to be the next virtual reference, if we only put librarians in a chat roulette situation until I found one who could answer my question, rather than just have to deal with the one I happen to hit on the question and answer desk.
Well, I'm already enchanted with the idea of going to the library in my pajamas. That's what I'm walking away from.
Well, we have pajama nights. Don't you ever do the pajama nights for storybooks? You market it to the parents.
That's right. That's right.
And you say, it's teddy bear night, bring your kid in their pajamas, and the benefit to the parent is you just put them straight to bed when you get them home.
Works for me. Well, I've actually seen some elected officials invited to do story hour that way.
They should do it in their
now,
pajamas.
they don't show up in their pajamas, because then it really would bring a lot of news people to it. But it's an interesting concept.
If it's an election year, they would do it.
They probably